Assalamualaikum, salam 2021. So kali ini kita mau tengok gameplay Marvel Midnight Suns yang telah dikeluarkan saya rasa 1-2 hari yang lalu. Mungkin sehari yang lalu, tapi saya tidak sempat untuk rekod video. So ini dalam gameplay yang ini, dalam video ini, apa yang saya tahu, saya belum tengok lagi. Ada Hunter, kita punya main character, which is character yang kita boleh customize sendiri. And then kita ada Wolverine dan kita ada Sabretooth. So kita tengoklah macam mana apa yang berlaku.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our first gameplay live stream of Marvel's Midnight Suns. My name is Caroline Guevara, producer and your host for today. I am joined by two very special guests, Jake Solomon, our creative director.
Jake Solomon.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to finally play the game for people.
Of course. And of course, Garth Angeles, our franchise producer.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Garth.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you haven't followed us on social media yet, please do so on Twitter and Instagram. Again, that is Marvel's Midnight Suns. Give us a follow so you can be up to date
Kita
with the
tengok
latest
how
and
dia
greatest.
become
And
dia
also,
punya
if you want
gameplay.
a very exclusive skin for Blade or Night Stalker skin, definitely sign up for our newsletter.
We're getting into some pretty incredible stuff, Caroline and Jake,
All right.
which we are ecstatic to show the world.
Finally happy to just be able to.
We are going to be finishing the game and seeing your guys' love and excitement for what's to come. The team really appreciates it, so thank you all. We've also been listening to your feedback already. Very important.
Dorang
to us.
sudah
Yep.
mendengar
And
feedback
one piece
awal
we
juga.
definitely wanted to touch on was the fact that this game is a premium title, an enormous single-player game that is brimming with content, and we're not going to have gameplay microtransactions.
No,
Oh.
no. I understand why people.
Dia
think
cakap
that, but
gameplay
every
microtransaction.
ability that your heroes can have.
So ability
you
most
only
likely
earn them
tidak
by
akan
playing with
DLC,
the heroes you love. There are
tapi
no
kostum apa
microtransactions.
semua mungkin akan
Put that
jadi
to rest.
DLC lah.
Put that to rest. Let's just play the game.
Let's get
Let's
into
go.
this
Let's play,
glorious
guys.
world.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Jake, you and I used to play another game.
We did. We
And
did.
we're not quite in
Sebelah
Kansas
kiri
anymore,
atas.
are we?
No.
This looks a little bit different.
Ada objektif
So,
and then
you're in control of the
di
hunter, moving her in real time.
section
there.
saya ni
You're
ada-
at the Abbey, which is an entirely
saya tak
new
tahu apa nama-nama
superhero
karakter,
headquarters
ada
that we
Blade, ada Doctor
created
Strange.
with Marvel.
And
Every
then
cool
itu dialog dia
superhero
kali
team has to have a cool
yang di
superhero
tengah-tengah tu.
headquarters. This is ours. We're just showing the exterior. We're going to show more of the Abbey at the end of this mission. Today, we're
And
really
then
showing off
sebelah
combat.
kanan atas
So we've got
boleh
some of our
nampak dia
squad
punya
mates here. We're
cuaca.
gonna head into
Day,
combat.
Tuesday.
This is our hunter.
Drizzling
We've
rain.
talked about how customizable they are. They can look very different from this. We're
Ni
walking by one of the other
Magic.
characters on the team, Magic, my personal favorite character in the Midnight Suns.
You know, it also was incredibly important to us and the team to have a base that reflected something like we all knew and loved when we were kids with Marvel.
Yeah.
Avengers Tower, X-Men, and the X-Mansion. Now having your own base is such a staple that I think you need to do in a Marvel game. It's something that hasn't been done before. You're going to have your own.
Yes, and ours, that's a big part of the game, is how it comes alive. How you live
Dorang
with
di
these characters. And
belakang.
we'll talk about that in a
Sebab
little bit.
macam
And
last
so
time
now, what we've done is
dari apa yang saya
crossed
nampak
over
memang
into this sort of
sekarang
interdimensional
maximum
space we call
karakter yang kita
limbo.
boleh
So
bawa
Magic opens
most
portals.
likely mungkin
You
3 lah.
walk through limbo
Tapi
and
mungkin
get
akan
your
boleh
next
tambah
mission. And that's kind of one
late
of her
game,
powers, and she can display this stuff in combat.
tambah
So-
berapa banyak karakter yang kita boleh
So
bawa.
we're gonna just dive right
Maximum
into
mungkin
combat
5
then?
atau 6 lah.
Yes.
All right,
We're gonna
let's
play
do
some
it.
combat.
We are going to play some combat, and again, you know, we are
Okay,
a tactics
kita dapat
team
6
through and
card.
through. I'm so
Masing-masing
proud
tu
of
ada
the designers
logo,
we have here,
bukan
the
logo,
folks
ada
that work with
gambar
Jake and the
karakter.
creative systems designers, but we've made something that you have not quite seen before when it comes to a tactics game.
So
There's so much when it comes to the
not
visual
sure
element
kalau
of
boleh
this.
nampak di
Characters and how
video.
they move and the superhero flair
Tapi
that you're
setiap
gonna see.
card tu
But first,
boleh nampak
we want
dia
to slow
punya
down before we start playing this thing
type
fast.
of card.
Let's talk
Ada
about
attack,
what the
Let's
mechanics
skill,
are
talk about the
right?
abilities, right? Because, as you may have
tu
heard,
type of card lah.
the hero's abilities, they're dealt to you at the start of combat, and like a hand of cards.
Like
Which-
cards?
Yeah.
A timeless game mechanic, by the way, right,
Right.
Jake?
What could be controversial about cards? Nothing, I assume. However, in case it is, I would understand why people say, what? That's very different from anything we've done before. It doesn't actually, I want to make sure that people understand it doesn't play that different than things we've done before. But as Garth is playing, I'm going to explain how this whole system works. And the idea is that every character has
Okay.
their own abilities.
Ini
that the player,
daripada
is in
previous
charge. So they can
trailer,
assign whatever
gameplay
abilities they
trailer ke
want
apa?
to Blade, to Doctor Strange, to the Hunter. they bring all those abilities into combat, and there aren't that many of them, so you're going to see all those abilities come up. But they're dealt to you as a hand of cards.
And there's some really cool card categories too, right?
Yes. So there's
Card play,
three different
refunded.
types of abilities that are really
Sebab
important.
tadi
There's
ada-
an attack, which Garth just did
Ada
there.
apa?
One
Ada
of the benefits of abilities
information yang
treating them
kalau
as a
KO,
card is we can
musuh
put
yang kita
really
attack KO,
interesting
kita dapat
effects on
cut
them. So we have
balik.
tons of them. It's another benefit is we can make so many different abilities. We can
Okay,
give them
Doctor
interesting
Strange buat
effects.
power dia.
One is an attack, which Garth showed off there with Blade. The next is a skill, which he just used with Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And that is the sort of thing that is a little more, could buff your allies, could be defensive. There are different ways to use it. But ultimately, the important thing is that by playing attacks, by playing skills, you're building up a resource that we call heroism. You can see this in the bottom right. That's,
What's that?
yeah, it's a simple, the game all rotates around heroism. Right?
Heroism.
And so you build up heroism and you use that to then
Apa dalam
use
dia?
the
Keperwiraan
third
kah?
type, which is called heroic.
They are your most powerful attacks. They can have devastating
Sure. Yeah.
impacts on the enemies, and that's what we're working towards right here. Now, I have a few other plays. Before I use Doctor Strange's heroic, I'm going to use one of the Hunter's attacks to build up more heroism, which will make the heroic stronger.
Oh,
So
ada
right
range
now, the
lah.
Hunter's in a great position to
Sampai mana
fire
kita
off his
boleh
ability.
Ooh.
knock back.
knock an enemy into another enemy. But you can also discreetly move your characters around the battlefield, and you'll have to be
We'll
able
show that
to
off.
use different abilities or different effects in the environment.
Okay, heroic
So now we're
sebab
gonna
kita sudah
Yeah.
naik.
Oh no, you're
jadi
fine.
empat.
I was gonna say like it
So,
seems like you have a lot of
dia
flexibility
ada
and
attack
freedom
damage
how you choose to
yang
play, like, with
80
your heroes.
dalam pedang tu.
Yeah, you do. I
Dia
mean,
naik.
the
Tadi
idea is that
saya
the
lupa
game is
berapa.
meant to move
30 lebih
pretty
kah?
fast. It's still very deep. I love that ability.
That right.
He just KO'd that person. By the way, he buried an axe in their head, and then they just were knocked dead.
Gentle KO. We'll be okay.
Okay, kita habis turn.
For a few hours.
Yep.
Fine.
But also, I mean, you saw that heroic ability. Our art team and our content team and all the disciplines that have worked on it, they have created
Okay.
these abilities
Diorang
in your face.
play
Incredibly
lagi
satisfying to watch
B-roll.
over and over. And the payoff.
Yeah,
of
they've
being
really
able to-
pushed the presentation of the abilities, and it's amazing to see. There are a lot of deep elements to combat here, and part of that is
Okay,
how
ini
different the
turn
heroes
baru
play.
saya rasa so dia dapat
we
cut
have
light.
a number of different abilities here, and in fact, actually, Garth, you can talk about what you're about to do here.
Yeah, we're going to use a special skill from the Hunter, which is going to chain on and allow us to use a very, very powerful card in our deck. So, Inspire allows you to play heroic or a card that costs heroism for free. So that's what we're going to do with Hunter, and that's going to lead into this powerful ability.
Yeah, and so the hero
Yeah.
combo, again, a big attack. The way that you unlock these abilities is
How to
actually
exhaust.
pretty avid. So we talk about how the relationships that you have with these heroes, and this
Entah.
Wow.
very awesome and very
Okay, dorang
powerful.
buat combo
You unlock
dua
these super
karakter.
powerful attacks by forming a relationship with the heroes involved.
Last man standing.
Oh, here we go. Ooh, Blade. Gotta go with Blade.
I mean, of course.
So
Nice.
again, that's an encounter. You know, they play
Habis sudah?
very, very fast.
Why is it that for every one of these sites we take out, it seems like two more appear in their place?
Patience. Hydra certainly lives up to their name.
I've hunted an actual Hydra. That was easier.
Easier than this.
Ya, Sabretooth.
I live up to my name, too.
Sabretooth.
Hell of a price Crossbones put on your head.
Siapa
Runt.
crossbone?
Too bad he never said it had to stay attached to your body. Well, too bad for you. Big words. For a dead man.
Semat. Suara dia macam suara Wolverine
Got
lama.
one thing right today, Sabretooth. Heads are definitely about to roll.
Oh, look. Another mangy stray.
You smell wrong.
Compared to him,
Good point.
Okay. Advent. Hydra soldiers.
Now I get to kill two runts with one claw. Maybe I should be paying Hydra.
Alright, kita tengok.
Okay, guys, I would be lying if I would say I'm not excited about this very iconic duo, this battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and,
then if you cut
you
the
saw
other-
there just one of the cinematics. We have hours of cinematics in the game. Obviously, we're telling a very deep story,
Apa ni?
and part of that
slash.
story,
Kasih
of
letup
course,
di
is
belakang.
introducing these villains. And this is the first
Nice.
villain we've shown, but we have
Oh, kuat
a
juga
large
letupan tu sampai
cast
mati.
of characters, not just heroes.
Okay, kita
We got,
tengok apa?
again, as I said, 12 Marvel
Counter.
heroes plus the Hunter. We also have a large cast of villains.
Oh,
to
attack
play
juga.
to fight against. It's what makes Lilith
Frenzy. Apa tu
so
Frenzy?
powerful. So again, she's the
Kenapa
ultimate
dia attack?
enemy. The thing that's
Oh,
cool
pasal
about
turn
her,
kita
if you
habis sudah.
imagine the most dangerous people in the Marvel universe. She's
Okay, next turn.
she's
belum lagi,
dangerous
masih turn
because she
kita.
can corrupt people with a single touch. So not only you fight villains like Sabretooth here, but you'll fight what we call fallen, where Lilith has corrupted villains. She's corrupted even heroes that the players can have to
Okay,
fight
habis
against
sudah.
over the course of the game. So yeah.
Apa ni?
Very deep narrative.
Oh, boleh
a
berjalan.
lot of narrative comes out, not just through cinematics, but also you'll experience in-game as well.
Apa ni? Ini bukan
And now
pakai
we're
cut.
fighting against Sabretooth, and yes, you're right, this is an iconic matchup, right? Wolvie, the best at what he does.
Yep.
Sabretooth, kind of good at what he does.
Ada chaos.
You know, he's deadly. Like, Sabretooth is a very deadly character, and so you're going to have to require your
Ush,
entire team to
jauhnya
take
dia
him out.
slash.
All of our villains have a bunch of unique abilities and also a unique flair to them. Sabretooth, the idea behind Sabretooth is that he has an ability called Frenzy, and that means that every time you take an action,
boleh kasih
he may
jatuh.
respond, right? So you have to
Oh,
be really
kita boleh
careful.
guna
You have to be
environment
very
rabis,
efficient in
ah?
what you do, because Sabretooth responds very quickly. So we
Got
can
it.
take 2 actions, then he's going to fight back.
So you have to like anticipate when he goes on that frenzy, kind of.
Yes,
Got
like
it.
for now. But yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
I love
Days.
Sabretooth. We've introduced, here we're introducing Wolverine for the first time. This is where you meet him. This is pretty far into the game, probably. I mean,
Okay.
actually, this game's very long, so not that far, but this is a good 10, 12 hours into the game. When you meet Wolverine and you unlock him. So there are characters you unlock through play.
Oi,
This is the
datang lagi
moment when you
musuh.
sort of meet Wolverine for the first time.
Okay.
And so, again, Wolverine, a completely different play style, completely unique set of
Oh,
abilities.
nice. Kasih
Can you
kena.
go into his abilities a little bit more? Like what makes him so unique and different from the other characters?
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you
funded.
think about Wolverine, it's
Level
he's
up.
very savage. He has the ability to attack multiple targets. So he has what we call chain. He has a lot of ability that chain to multiple targets. And at the same time, he can taunt enemies. And that means that he can draw their fire. When he
Kuatnya dia
attacks
punya
them, then
slash.
enemies
Kalau dia
target
kuat.
Wolverine after that. And
Oh,
that's great
datang balik.
because Wolverine has the ability to regenerate health. He's very low on health here. Garth, you doing okay, bud?
Let's use a little berserk.
Berserk.
Get some life steal on there if you want to mention that.
Well, that's fine.
I believe in you, Garth. Like you can do this.
Fine. As you can see, Sabretooth, huge health bar.
Heavy hitter. Definitely
Yes,
heavy hitter.
definitely a heavy hitter. And so that's good. Wolverine
Terbang.
has got some life steal going on and sent that guy to the moon. But yeah, this is the problem with Sabretooth, right? Is that he just doesn't stop. And this matches how he is in the comics as well. Like, Sabretooth doesn't stop, you know?
Okay, satu lagi cut kita
So you
boleh
have to
play.
always kind of be on your toes here.
Alright. What are we doing, Garth? Like
We got him.
we got him? Okay, alright, okay.
I'm actually going to
You can position yourself, use the environment.
Okay. Right.
One thing that's worth pointing out is that as you move, you can continue to move until you use an ability, right? And so you can position yourself just perfectly. Until you use an ability, you can continue to move around. the map.
Okay.
And
Boleh
the
move
movement
sampai-
balance is one of my favorite parts.
sampai guna
movement,
cut.
If you play tactics, you know how critical it is. But it's this wonderful balance of you can choose to play more methodically and find that single precise movement position to take advantage of the enemies.
Down,
but
okay.
it's not every single turn,
Kalah.
every single action you make that decision.
Can't heal. Have to keep going.
Ah. Si apa sudah nama dia ni? Saya lupa apa nama dia.
you'll do.
Menyeramkan.
All right, so we saw a lot of good gameplay, a lot of good ability. It's just like amazing, amazing gameplay, of course. But this isn't just it, right, Garth? There's still a whole nother section to it.
Oh,
There's
ada
a
lagi.
whole section. It is enormous. It is
So much.
incredibly exciting.
Check.
Again,
Oh, ada lagi
we
lebih kurang
love
5
tactics
minit.
games, and changing what we did with the tactics design there wasn't enough. We wanted a whole other half of the game that was the RPG part of the tactics RPG. So we're going back to the Abbey now, and we're going to show you guys a little bit of a gameplay tease with what you can do within the Abbey.
All
And we're
right.
going to start in the Hunter's Quarters.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
You can do an enormous amount. Obviously, after a hard day's work, you want to go back to your place of refuge.
Right, you're wearing casual clothes, right? Many outfits. We actually have a lot of outfits that.
And look at this room. It looks like some decorating could be done. Can you do decorating?
Joan, yeah, you gotta update your room, and yeah, there's ways to update not just the character, the room as well. Here's your beloved
Horse, Charlie.
Right, your beloved hellhound Charlie, who loves you so much. You can, of course, pet the dog, and there's a lot of benefits to that as well.
Join
Are we
a
going to be able to
hangout.
explore that a little bit more?
We are, and in fact, what's happening right now is the hunter walking onto the common room after combat, and so again, this is really a social
Ghost
experience
Rider,
where after
Iron
combat,
Man.
all these heroes are hanging out, and you can choose from different heroes after combat to hang out with, and this is an important part of building a relationship.
It is. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. Not only do you have fun in combat, you come back and you have a very, very important choice to make,
Nico.
which is a whole other part of the Marvel fantasy, right? It's not just battling amongst these heroes. It's who do you want to hang out with, Nico Maruno
Book of
or
1,000
Iron Man,
pages.
right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefit to this, right? There's not just a narrative benefit as they commiserate over their terrible parents.
Oh, Jepun.
Oh, my dad's not watching because I can commiserate with them as well. But yeah, then in addition to hanging out with heroes, you obviously get to have a deeper
ya,
experience
ini
talking to different characters
bercakap,
around the
bercerita,
Abbey.
buat pilihan.
We're kind of alluding here, like your dialogue choices can affect the hunter's balance as well.
I mean, it's an RPG. There's branching dialogue choices here.
Right.
You mentioned the
Tuh,
light-dark
betul, betul.
balance. The
Branching
role-playing
dialogue.
portion of how you want to craft your hunter and their personality is
Dark
incredibly
balance
compelling.
point.
And you'll be able to do that in spades in the Abbey. Uh-oh, what are we doing here, Caroline? You love the dog?
I do.
You walk your dog?
I mean, it looks like it.
Dog can walk with
The
you.
dog's walking, leading me somewhere special. Okay, where are we going?
So, this is just one of the many things that happens on the Abbey grounds. So the Abbey grounds are very extensive, which you can explore, and you should. And this is a lot of really interesting optional content that the player can come out here, explore the grounds, uncover a lot more narrative, a lot more gameplay. And so, again, we wanted this to feel like a living space. And so it's not just the interior of the Abbey, it's the exterior grounds as well that feel, appropriately supernatural based on our
And
game.
again, you think of the world of Marvel, it's not enough to just have a series of menus in between missions or a base that doesn't have a lot of content and substance to it. And the grounds really act as that, since they're overloaded with secrets and mysteries and deep lore to learn more, even in other corners of Marvel that you may be surprised
ada
about.
behind
The background of the hunter and
cerita-cerita,
caretaker and
ada
other
lore lah.
Right. And there's
L-O-R-E.
so much more that we would love to show
Let's
you.
keep going. Can we keep going?
And we will. There's so much more to show you.
Soon.
And we will. very
Agatha.
soon.
Tuh nama mama dia.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. We have a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of Abby, a lot of combat that's coming up as well. What's coming up, guys, in October, coming months?
A lot. So we want to dive deep on some of the characters, like start to show more about these characters, and then show more gameplay. We just hinted at it with the combat and the Abbey, so we want to show more of that in the coming months.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys, both Jake and Garth, for joining us today and showing our fans, of course, like Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yes, we are very happy to finally be putting the game. So
It's incredibly exciting. Thank you all. Thanks for
Yeah.
being with us.
yep, absolutely.
All right, thank you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure to follow us on social media. Again, that is Marvel's Midnight Suns on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to give us a follow. Also, sign up for our newsletter for the very exclusive Night Stalker Blade skin. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to sharing more.
Kuat dah. So I'm guessing that's it. Dan kalau mau skin, ya boleh join newsletter. Darkness Falls, Rise Up.
And
Gets you hyped. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on.
no, but we need the
There are
hypeness, of
kids.
course.
There are
Like,
kids watching. Come on.
I'm sorry, I get excited. I get very excited.
Ada post credit. So mari kita tengok sikit. Kita buat sedikit beberapa kajian tentang ni footage. Kita check dulu footage. So, objective, defeat enemy agents. So, ini standard. And then kita dapat 6 card. Dan 6 card, dan di sebelah kanan kita ada heroic punya counter, ada 3 cards play, 1 moves, 2 redraws dan 1 item. So apa yang berlaku sini ialah kita boleh pilih card bergantung kepada karakter, dan dari apa yang saya faham, yang bahagian moves itu lebih dinyatakan kemudian, ialah kita boleh bergerak suka hati di field ni, tapi bergantung kepada jarak jugalah. Okey, contoh di sini. Okey, di sini ada kita punya Wolverine ada 2 cards place, masih boleh main 2 card lagi, boleh play, boleh pilih 2 card untuk buat attack. And then ini Sabretooth ada kuasa, bukan kuasa lah, reaction saya rasa, frenzy dia dapat. And then dia attack kita punya Wolverine. So apa yang Wolverine kita buat, dia kasih chaining dia punya attack tu, and then lepas dia chain 2, apa yang berlaku, dia pilih jarak and then dia move saja. Lepas dia move and then kosong sudah move kita, and then dia buat, saya rasa ini interaction. Dia interaction. So kejap, mari kita tengok balik. So ada a few things yang berlaku. Di bawah nama Wolverine ada number 8. Saya tidak tahu itu number apa for now. Okay. Selepas dia move, maknanya kita mau move pergi sini. Okay, lepas dia move, and then dia boleh buat action lagi. Tapi action ni, oh, nampak logo number 2 tu? Bukan logo lah, number 2 warna oranye. Saya rasa itu dia akan ambil daripada kita punya heroism. So interaction dengan objek-objek most likely akan pakai kita punya heroism punya counter, bukan counter, apa nama dia ni, point. Okay, kemudian kita kasih gerak balik kita punya Wolverine di sini, and then keluar balik tu number oranye, number 2. So kita pakai heroism lagi, and then kita mau interact dengan tu tiang untuk jatuhkan di atas kepala dia. Okay, nice. Okay, turun lagi heroism, and then kita ni apa, batu ke surat kabar ni? Batu, surat kabar. So itu pun ada tolak kita punya heroism. So macam heroism ni ialah satu bar yang kalau kita sudah kumpul banyak, lagi senang kita interact dengan environment. So macam pallet di atas jalan raya ni, dia perlukan 1 days remove. Oh, kena attack. Dan ini reinforcement sampai kita dapat lagi 2 card. So kita mau buat quick and then ada knockback, kita kasih kena tu askar di belakang. Askar tu mati kah? Dia nak bangun? Tidak bangun. Nah, tapi kita level up, tambah 1 heroism. So dari mana tu heroism punya point? Mari kita tengok balik. Okay, heroism punya point tu sebenarnya datang dari di bahagian bawah card. Tak tahu kalau sempat tadi nampak, tapi bila dia pilih quick slash di bahagian bawah kiri tu ada tambah 1 untuk menunjukkan macam kalau kita pakai move tu heroism kita tambah 1. So mungkin ada multiple cards lain yang ada number lain lah. Ni contoh tambah 1. Overkill, saya not sure apa fungsi dia. Mungkin ada stats yang tertentu. Okay, sekarang Wolverine buat move dia, move berserk. Okay, dia draw 2 cards sebab itu ialah efek daripada card tu. And then dia buat chaining 3 daripada 4 yang sepatutnya dia punya power boleh buat. Dalam card tadi tu ada lifesteal punya properties, jadi nampak tu tambah 119 kepada nyawa si Wolverine. So anulah, kalau yang biasa dalam game lain Mobile Legend ke apa, memang ada lifesteal atau leech seed lebih kurang dalam dalam Pokemon. Eviscerate, chain 4, taunt, lifesteal. Okay, Wolverine move lagi, and then dia mau pakai dia punya, dia interact, dia naik. Okay, itu guna dia. Dia bukan humban, itu pellet, dia just guna sebagai lompatan. Untuk action dia pakai attack lah. So dia guna 3 daripada 4 lagi untuk dia kasih kalah ni Sabretooth. Down. So at least saya rasa itu saja untuk saya punya kira macam analisis lah kan, tentang game ni, Marvel Midnight Sun yang bakal keluar March 2022 nanti. Saya not sure macam mana game ni akan perform sebab tahun depan pun ada Monster Hunter Rise yang versi PC. So saya pun not sure how the game will perform. Tapi kalau katakan kamu peminat XCOM 2 atau XCOM Enemy Unknown atau Enemy Within, ataupun kamu juga minat Marvel Universe, sama ada yang versi komik ataupun versi movie Marvel Cinematic Universe, mungkin ada hype sikit pasal ni game sebab kita boleh jumpa Marvel hero yang kita kenal dan juga yang kita tidak kenal. Sebelum saya tamatkan video ni, saya harap kamu tekan butang like. Kalau mau subscribe, please do so. Jangan lupa. Dan kamu juga boleh support saya dengan pergi ke Facebook gaming page saya. Nama dia Kisaragi Game Couch, ada juga di description. So I think itu sahaja. Assalamualaikum, salam 2021, and I'll see you guys on the next video.